Greetings, YouTube. I am constantly working on my anger issues. And one of the things that I have had some modicum of success with is trying to keep a frame of reference about how the connection between frustration and anger is structured, and the knowledge that just because that structure exists, it doesn't necessarily mean that one must lead to the other, or at least one must not lead to the anger of the same degree. At the heart of all anger is frustration. You are frustrated with something. It could be something as inconsequential as popping the top off your milk in this morning and it flies across the room and you spill milk everywhere. That's a frustrating thing to happen. Now you've got a mess to clean up. You may have no milk for your cereal. But on a scale of 0 to 10, just like the pain scale, that's pretty low. It's a 1. It sucks. You clean it up. You move on with your day. Maybe you make a different breakfast decision. Somebody moves something on your desk, that's a 1. But you come back the next day and they've done it again. Okay, you might want to find out why they're doing this. Because if they continue to do that, okay, they've ramped that up. Now your frustration is a little higher and maybe your anger is a little bit more justified. And if you find out that they've been taking your things, well, now that's a different matter. An appropriate response from the frustration to the expression of anger. I'm not talking violence. I'm just talking anger. So I've been trying to wrap my head around that, and that all anger may come from frustration, but not all frustration need lead to anger. And while I can't interpose myself when the anger kicks in, I'm trying to create a situation where I can accept an event of frustration, and by accepting it, the anger never gets triggered. Because once the anger's triggered, there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. The best I've been able to come up with is once I feel it, particularly I tend to clench my jaw. Once I feel that, I ask myself out loud, who is benefiting from this anger? And the answer, of course, is no one. And who is being harmed by this anger? And the answer, of course, is me. Because there's no one else around me. No one else is going to suffer from my anger. The only one being harmed by it is me, my body. But we all have frustration. And unfortunately, when I grew up, I watched frustration in my father, and for him, that always led to anger. And if the frustration was another person, the best you could hope for you would be called stupid, usually at the top of his lungs. And the worst you could expect would be violence. And I'm still carrying that in my body at 60. I'm still working on it. I'm still pulling it apart. I'm still trying to do better, be happier and healthier than I was yesterday. And hopefully I will do better tomorrow. I don't always succeed. I am often disappointed in my response. There are times I feel I'm addicted to that sense of anger. When I feel that my jaw clench, I want to be angry. When I see ignorance and hatred in the world, I want to be angry. And there's a difference between anger in a political sense and that's anger that's in your bones. Because if you're not angry about Nazis in power, you're not paying attention. But I don't want that in my bones anymore. I've had it there for too long. So I'm still trying to separate that. I'm still trying to remind myself that while anger may come from frustration, not all frustration needs to lead to anger.